Meanwhile, our next guest says there are real signs of strength in the retail trader, and it's not just Bitcoin driving the action. Robinhood recently saw its biggest week of the overnight trading ever, and users are buying the dip in some of the biggest, hardest hit names by tariffs. Robinhood Chief Brokerage Officer Steve Quirk joins us now with more on that story. Steve, this is big, and it maybe is the resurgence of the retail trader again, but it's not meme-driven this time.
No, it's not meme-driven. Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, we just got a fresh look at our April metrics, so we saw, what our customers have been doing throughout the month of April. Strongest sign was that it was one of the best months we've ever had for deposits, so they're bringing in fresh powder to take advantage of the opportunities that they saw with some of this tariff news. And as you said, some of the most depressed names, or the ones that were hardest hit, the Apple, the Amazon, and NVIDIA, all the ones that really were quite depressed, is where we saw some pretty strong buying. And if you look at the overall volumes on the equity front, they were as strong as we've seen, and up, over 100% on a year-over-year basis. Same thing on the option side, and the margin balances are held pretty firm. So I think our customers really stepped in and took advantage of what they thought is a pretty unique opportunity.
When you look at the dynamic now, all of the leverage, the trading volumes, the kinds of asset classes being trafficked more in, do you feel as though that this is a market where we could still see a retest of the lows and maybe even new ones? It feels like such a long time ago, but it was just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree. I don't think, and when, we talk to our customers, many of them pretty frequently, I don't think they think that this is all just going to pass. But, they take advantage they have a core portfolio, but they'll take advantage of names that get very depressed and stay in those for a shorter duration and then cycle out when they get the gain. I mean, some of these are up 50% from their lows. So, they cycle out of a portion of that and then wait for another opportune time to get back in if they think there's going to be attractive opportunities.
You mentioned some of those names out there that are getting some of the most activity. If you look at those, is there anything that you glean from the kinds of trading activity that we're seeing that can extrapolate to the broader market overall for, say, the institutional side of things?
No, but I think there's an interesting phenomenon that happens when, we had the VIX almost at 60. And there's an interesting phenomenon that happens not only to Robinhood customers, our customers are in their 30s, are quite young. But if you look across the industry, when you tend to see extreme bouts of volatility and movement like this, you get retail customers that sort of move away from individual names and they get into the broad-based ETFs, the IWM, the QQQ, the SPDR. And the rationale is really that, hey, the market's moved down 25%. I have less confidence that the individual name I'm going to buy is going to rebound. I have more confidence that the overall market is going to see a rebound. And then when when things sort of calm down, you see that rotation back to individual names that become very popular from a volume standpoint in the industry.
Steve, congratulations. First of all, 5 years ago, we were not talking about overnight trading and volume, but the other night you probably had, if it wasn't a record, it was pretty close. So speak to the level of sophistication now with the clients to be able to do what they're doing.
And thanks. I just think what people really want to do is be able to act on opportunities when the news hits. And the news hits on Sunday night regarding the tariffs, and they didn't want to wait till Monday morning to take an action or to protect themselves or grab an opportunity. And so, Sunday nights have been some of the biggest nights that we have in our overnight trading. It's either earnings events or something that's episodic like announcements, or Sunday nights, because you're bunching up a couple days of news. And in today's cycle, that could be quite a bit of news. And then, you get people that are acting upon that as quickly as possible. And you've seen all the exchanges, everybody. We're going to be full cycle here in the next couple of years, without a doubt.